Who's wrong and who's wronger? In this corner, followed by millions, James the Exploding Unicorn Breakwell. And in that corner, ignored by millions, Steve Dash Rinko Levens.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Wrong and Wronger. I am Steve on bended knee because we still don't have any chairs in the new house Olivas, and he is James sitting smug in the catbird seat Breakwell. And James, as good as I look tonight, I gotta tell you, my life is in like an osterizer right now, set on puree. But it sounds like you've got a lot going on your end too.
Yeah, my whole setup here is in disarray. I'm transferring over from an old computer to a new computer, and the hang-up is Wrong and Wronger. So I know, believe it or not, this ruins more than 15 minutes of people's lives. It's like ruining my entire life now. So every time we make, because we do the audio for this, but the audio is exported from video, and every time we make one of these podcasts, Steve actually sends me a video that's between a gig and a half, and I have between a gig and a half on my computer, and then I splice those two videos together, creating a third video that's also about a gig. And now I have to export all of those to the new computer, and of course the process isn't going smoothly. I had to upload it to the cloud and re-download it. It's awful. But the alternative is to just delete it all and let the historical record lose out on all that prime, narrative of Wrong and Wronger, and I just can't let the world lose that. So I am suffering for some historian 1,000 years ago who wants to know what was wrong with society today, and we will be Exhibit A right there.
Well, thank God we've only got a handful of episodes for you to grapple with on your end.
A handful? We've got, 75, 78? We got so many episodes. Why do we keep making these?
I have no idea, but I do have a collection of hats that I need to burn through, and so tonight is no exception.
That is. And, did you own that already? Like, was there some reason you had this in your house?
No, I got this specifically for the show.
I don't believe you. I think that was just in your closet.
I feel like a Muppet is what I feel like.
You look like a Muppet, but that's unrelated to the hat. I just.
Well, this is the podcast, despite everything you may think with the whole intro, but we debate topics that everybody has an opinion about, but nobody ever talks about because fear, James. They don't want to stir up the hornet's nest of whoever they're talking to. And what is the topic that we're going to take head on today?
We have a good one. We had a listener who did not want to be identified because, let's face it,
it's weird,
nobody wants to be associated with us. But she sent us like 20 topics, and they were really good. So one of them, that's very topical, is raking versus leaf blowers, which is better for clearing out the leaves.
And at least in my neck of the woods, that is a very timely debate that we will have, or debate topic that we will do.
Yes, up here as well. We also have weather in Indiana, so this is topical in both places.
Well, I didn't know if your leaves were already gone, because our leaves are now hitting the ground and they're everywhere.
Yeah, ours fell a little earlier because, God hates Indiana, so we had some ice storms and things. He tried to kill us off, but we're still here. We're still going strong. We're a hardy folk.
You had an ice storm the day before I got to your house, too, so you almost missed out on seeing me a few weeks ago.
I almost missed out on you, and I almost missed out on the pig, but I was going to go. I made sure that the pig happened. I was indifferent to you, but...
Well, we always begin, except for last week, by complimenting each other. And James, given that my mind has like an egg beater going through it at all times these days, I will let you begin, just to settle me, to give me that sea of tranquility that I so desire.
I would like to compliment you for showing the world who you really are by posting a picture of the gigantic new Steve Olivas Manor. Somebody commented on there underneath your picture. They're like, "Oh, Breakwell always talks about the Olivas compound. I thought he was making it up." No, I only speak the truth. When I talk about his vast estate and his servants and his outbuildings and his valet, like this is the truth, and you proved it with that picture, talking about your 16 moving vans and the caravan of elephants carrying in your golden spices. It was a production. So thank you for giving the listeners a glimpse into your life. So now they know when we argue that I'm over here, I'm the everyman just making it day to day with my kids and my pigs who live in my house, and you're over there on your throne of gold in your palace. Just so you know who you're dealing with. So thank you for your honesty, Steve.
James, I want you to remember this moment and look back and laugh at the folly when you're my age, and just take a look at what you'll have versus what I have when you reach this age, because you are on a trajectory that will make mine be dwarfed in comparison. There's no way that you're not going to just blow past me like I'm a traffic cone and you're in a NASCAR vehicle when you hit this age. Yes. And that's my compliment to you. That is, you try to get this computer thing under control, and you're like, you've got a lasso. You're like a rodeo cowboy, and it's just squirting out of your grasp here and there. It's like trying to grab onto a greased pig, pardon the pun. But you continue to plug away and try to make this thing as great as it can be. And I know that we're limited because both of us are involved.
Yes.
But if you just sort of take us out of the equation, you would have this thing chugging along. And as I say this out loud, I kind of think maybe it's me that's weighing the whole thing down.
No, it's both of us. This is a great podcast other than the two people on the podcast. Other than that, it is a solid show, and you can't take away from that.
Good lenses, bad frames. Yeah, well, we've got a great idea, but poor execution.
A little bit of poor everything, but that's okay. Go ahead and flip that quarter. I'm ready to win this one.
Yeah, let's begin to execute. All right, and you take that any way you want. I still have control. Now, this is in a shadow because I actually have the phone balanced on 2 cardboard boxes. James, my life is the Atlantic Ocean of cardboard right now. It's all around me except for this quarter, which I am holding fast to. What will the 2 sides of the quarter represent for you today?
All right. Heads up, I am arguing rakes. Tails up, I am arguing leaf blowers. Yes.
All right. This is going to be made a little more difficult because I'm wearing a Lone Ranger mask, but it is up, it is down, I have captured it, and it is Guam. It is tails, if everybody can see that.
So I have the leaf blower, correct? Based on the rules
Yes.
I made up 10 seconds ago, which I totally remember.
And I have a pen that doesn't work, so I have to be like you and just go off memory as I go into the debate here.
I don't know why you would ever write down anything from this debate. There's nothing worth saving. But the only thing actually worth saving is my excellent argument here, because leaf blowers are the way to go. I mean, you would not go... Let me ask you this, Steve. When you take care of your grass, do you go out there with a pair of scissors, or do you use a lawnmower?
James, I pay a kid to do that for me. I have no idea what he does.
I'm going to assume that you pay him with your elephants full of gold, that you pay him to use a push mower or a riding mower. It's the same thing when you rake. You're not going to go out there with like this crude hand tool, this rake, and just slowly scrape your yard. You get a leaf blower and you just push that stuff out of there. You just knock it out of there. 20 minutes in and out. It's amazing. It's fast. It's efficient. It harnesses technology, which is what separates us from the beast. And if you've ever raked anything of any size, which again, you are decades from the point where you did any manual labor with your soft hands, but if you have to go over the same spot like 20 times, and you get those leaves like 6 inches further, and you go over it 20 more times, edging a little bit further and further. You get that leaf blower in there, bam, done. 2 seconds on each spot, and those leaves go where they're supposed to. It's like herding cattle. There's nothing better, and I don't know why you would want to go back in time to the days of hand rakes. You can't explain it.
James, my hands are as soft and as frail as a newborn sparrow, so I don't disagree with you. But, James, there are several things in life that are just better when you take your time and relish the moment. And I could go into a list of them, but I know how uncomfortable you get when we venture into these topics. But let me just ask you, why do you hate your neighbors? What did they ever do for you? I mean, to you.
They've done nothing for me.
Leaf blowers, I got one word for you, particulate. Why do you hate yourself? Why do you hate your lungs? Why do you hate longevity? Don't your children need you to continue generating income well into their college years?
I got life insurance.
You don't have as much life insurance as what you could potentially earn. Remember what I said earlier about you being my age. you're going to be sitting, you're going to pile money up in your house. You're not going to be able to get to the kitchen. You're going to have to like turn sideways through little paths like you're a $100 bill hoarder. But the particulate that those leaf blowers kick up are cancerous. There are carcinogens in those things. There's assorted rat droppings in those. There's like cockroach parts in those. Not to mention the leaves and the dirt and the dust and the gook and everything gets kicked up and you breathe all of that in, because if you're in shape like I am, just walking to the mailbox is going to get you breathing heavy. And as you suck in all of that stuff, you're de-extending your life. I don't know what the opposite of that is. Retracting your life?
Shortening your life?
Shortening your life. Raking also gives you time for family. Did you dive into giant haystack-sized piles of leaves when you were a kid? Yes, you did, because leaf blowers hadn't been invented. All a leaf blower is good for doing is blowing the leaves into your neighbor's yard, and then they'll blow them back into your yard, and you got a Hatfield and McCoy thing going on, and we get back to you hating your neighbors again. But raking leaves gets them all tidied up. It makes the lawn look really nice. It doesn't disturb anybody. It gives your kids something to play in. It gives you family memories, and it gives you all of those jack-o'-lantern looking garbage bags lined up along the curb for the garbage man to enjoy when he comes through the next day.
I do not believe for 1 second that the perfectly manicured Steve Olivas Mansion 2.0 has rat droppings and cockroaches out there in the yard.
I was talking about your lawn.
Oh, okay. My yard has been purified by pigs. They chase away all that unclean matter. But you know what? We do something mind-blowing here in my part of Indianapolis. That we blow the leaves out into the gutters, and a street sweeper comes along and takes them away. There's no bagging. There's no piling. That's it. You just literally have to get it off of your property and out into the road, and everything is taken care of. And why would you use a rake for that? It doesn't even make any sense when a leaf blower will get it there right away. And as far as blowing it into a neighbor's yard, you just got to have some self-control. I mean, it's not a machine gun. You just kind of aim it carefully. You push it a little bit, then you walk around to the other side. You push it a little bit that way. You got to use some artistry to it. You can't blame the tool. You got to blame the artisan using it. And when I use a leaf blower, it is art. I am crafting the landscape to make it better, and I'm doing it in a way that doesn't exhaust me. So when I get back inside, I have the energy to play with my kids rather than just flopping down and sleeping for 10 hours because I've just spent all that time going back and forth with my arms. It is exhausting. I grew up using a rake, and it was awful. It was torture. It was borderline child abuse. And now in the era of leaf blowers, there's no need for that. We have freed ourselves from the burden of manual labor. And I don't know why you'd want to enslave us, except that now that you are on the top of the mountain looking down on your minions, just let the peons use their hands to work, and you up there with your leaf blower that I know you secretly have. The leaf blowers are the way to go. It's the way of the rich and powerful.
I got a few things on that. One, I don't have the self-esteem to live in a house this nice, so don't assume for a minute that I am lording this over anybody. Two, your rake gave you fresh air. It doesn't have like a dust bowl level of particulate kicked up so that it's going to wipe out all of the settlers in the old West. Like, the reason that you flop down on the couch after you rake is because you're exhausted from some good hard work outside. You'd have time to play with your kids because all you do is play Nintendo with them anyway. What does that take? That doesn't take a lot of energy. And lastly, James, I got to tell you, I don't know how your pigs poop. But I did discover thank you for that lesson in anatomy. I appreciate that. That is the collision point where zoology meets anatomy. God dang it. But 28 degrees, James. Remember 28 degrees, because that is the temperature at which poop gets weaponized. And if you have a snowblower and you have pigs pooping in the backyard, you can take care of any feud you have with your neighbor in one graceful arcing poop. That you get that poop at 28 degrees into the impounder blade of a snowblower, and that thing will go 50 yards. If it's going to go a foot, it'll go 50 yards. You can shoot it all onto your neighbor's roof. And like I said, he'll have no idea where it came from the next spring when it starts basking in the April and May sun. So power tools, while they do have their utility, just can't take the place of good old-fashioned hard work.
I'm so confused. Why would I either snowblow my yard where I don't drive, or why would my pigs poop in my driveway where they don't walk? I don't know what's going on here that you're snowblow. Does your dog poop in your driveway? Is that what's going on down there in Nashville?
First of all, my dog poops. It wouldn't even feel like a pellet gun if I had it at 28 degrees. But I'm thinking Gilly is a good-sized pig.
Yeah.
And Gilly probably lays down some landmines that are going to have some distance if you shot put those suckers into your neighbor's yard. I'm just telling you this for the sheer sport of it, James, because we're talking about your general disdain for your neighbors, and I'm telling you how to leave an impact.
I just you get the most convoluted, oddest hypothetical situations, but noted. If I decide to slow blow my yard and go into the exact corner where my pig poops, I can fire turds, frozen turds.
No, it's worth it.
But that has nothing to do with the fact that leaf blowers are better. It will not be shooting frozen turds anyway. This is why you lose every week. This is why I beat you again last week in my incredible run of victories.
I don't think you did. I was winning halfway through the week.
But you didn't check at the end, did you?
Today,
you didn't check it today, did you?
You can't tell me you did, because you put that thing up, you forget it's even up there. That's your life.
If you can't prove otherwise, I won. That's all there is to it. If you want to win, you got to check the results.
Roll the dice. Let's figure this thing out.
All right, I got to sift around these multiple keyboards here for my weird setup today. All right, if you want to vote for leaf blowers and America and me, vote for 58.
Oh, God.
If you want to vote for Poop Slinger Steve over there and his rakes.
Jack Lambert is 58, by the way.
Vote for number 6, just 6 even.
I like the name Poop Slinger. That's Bubby Brister, by the way.
Poop Slinger. And then, let's see here. If you want to throw your vote away, vote for 68.
Ooh, I don't know a 68. How interesting is that?
Not as interesting as everything else you say. We'll leave it at that.
All right, well, that wraps another dynamite episode, an explosive, if you will, episode of Wrong and Wronger. Until next week, Steve the Poop Slinger will leave us for James the Exploding Unicorn Breakwell. See you next week. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and remember, 2 wrongs can make a right.